It's interesting that I have understood more about the in-depth of the policies or the politics that are, I would say, motivating the politicians in the UK, US, and Russia. I agree with Michael about that one of the problems of Yemen, that it's not a very lucrative location for big countries to invest in. Yemen is, as Michael rightly said, it's always looked at from the Saudi prism, how to secure Saudi Arabia. And my logic has always been that Yemen is vital and important to the international community because we are next to 12 million barrels a day. That's why Yemen is so important, not because there are too many resources. We are not like Libya, we're not like Iraq, and not even like Syria, which is like an important player because of its geopolitics there. And hence, that was the difficulty that the United States and UK, who are the main or the major influencers in the Yemeni war, either by supporting the Saudis and the Emiratis by selling them arms, which is it might be a pure commercial deal, or that they think that that the Saudis need these arms to defend themselves. And it might be sarcastic to see that the Saudis on each attack on any of their installations, which I condemn, even if it targets a military side, they call for the defense of the superpowers. That's, for me, something is like defending them from the Houthis. And I recall that in April 2015, Ahmed Asiri went public and declared the end of the decisive storm, and that it has achieved 95% of its goals. And that leads me to a question. Were the Saudis unaware of what's happening in Yemen? Were they not aware of the real dimension of the military power that Saleh has accumulated during the years? Were they misinformed? Were they pushed to go to this war without preparing it? Going into a war, an air campaign, without allies on the ground that will push with you, because an air campaign can never win a war alone unless you have military on the ground, and that had never happened. And that will lead me to the, not a question, but to wonder about the information and the intelligence information that were given to them by the British intelligence services, military, or the MI5, and the intelligence that were given to them by the United States. And as we know that Obama himself has said it, that they stopped giving this information towards the end of his term. So that would mean that the Americans and the British were seriously involved in this war. They cannot just say, no, we were just trying to support the Saudis against it, to try to reinstate Hadi and the legitimacy, and then taking 2216 as a pretext for the continuation of this war. We all know 2216 was like 1 month later after the war started. The war started in March, and 2216 was drafted in April. The Russians abstained, so to please the Saudis or not to veto it. My third point is about the Russian involvement. I don't think the Russian has any leverage on this process, more than what they can do in the Security Council. And they might use Yemen as a tool for other resolution that they want to pass, either for Syria, Libya, Iraq, or the other countries around the world. But for Yemen, Yemen is not as strategic to them, to the Russians, as Syria or as Libya wealth in Libya is so appetizing for everyone. So, and the Russians had some influence during Salah because of the arms sales, but they did not have, they were never involved politically. They have never had like counterterrorism policies in Yemen. They have never intervened in the process of promoting democracy. They have not given Yemen any economical assistance. They were not of, I mean, the donations, or when they, during the donors conferences that were held in London, their presence was minimal if they were ever present. So combining these three views about these, the United States, the UK, and Russia, it is very clear now that the only country that has a real leverage that is trying to play it on the Saudis are the Americans, and they are playing it. The British are doing it, but of course, because of the magnitude of the relations between the Saudis and the Americans, and the importance of this relation for the succession of the throne in Saudi Arabia, it is vital for MBS to get along with the Americans. And at this time, he is trying to bow, to let this storm goes away. He thinks that within a year or two, I mean, especially next November, he thinks that if the House and the Senate changes camp and the Republicans go back to the majority, that will help him. And this is why he's playing it cool with the Americans, getting along with them wherever they want to take him, believing that it is time that is really vital for both sides. He thinks that he has 1 year to go. If he can resist these 12 months, that would be good for him. And that also has to be taken into the context of whether his father, the king, will remain for another year alive, or would he pass away. And it's a matter of time. I mean, he's ailing and we know about his health. So the Saudis, although they claim they want to way out, as Michael said, since 2019, and they have heard it, and Nabil heard it, everybody heard it, that they want a way out, but they cannot find it. They cannot find the starter point. Where do they start? They know the Houthis now, they feel that they are stronger militarily, and they are stronger within the international community, and that they can claim victory. And this is what the Saudis, or specifically MBS, will never, in my view, he will never concede. He will never take the decision Abdel Nasser took in 1967, when he decided, while he had 70,000 troops on the ground, that he decided that he cannot win this war and he had to quit.